this logical volume management is like a RAID, and we can do what? We can combine multiple disks to create LVM volume just like RAID, but RAID supports same type of disk and same size of disk also. In LVM, we can use any type and any size of disk. Now, in RAID, we get what? We get redundancy. But in LVM, we don't get redundancy. This LVM is not for redundancy. So this LVM is not for redundancy basically. It will not save your data. If you lose any of the disk, you will lose the data. It is basically for the flexibility. That means we can create any size of LVM volumes, and we can use any type of disk. Any type of disk, maybe you can use iSCSI, you can use SATA, you can use SSD, and you can use any type of disk, and you can create any size of LVM volume. And also you can do what? You can shrink and extend the volume. If you create a standard partition, then what happened? You cannot extend the size of the partition. Like if you created 1 GB 1 TB partition, then that's it. If you cannot increase the size, that means if you want to increase the size, then you have to delete the partition and recreate the partition again. And when you do that, you destroy the file system, you actually lost your data. But this LVM, we can do what? Without losing the data, we can extend the size, and even we can shrink the size of the LVM volumes. Now, in RAID also, we cannot do what? Like a standard partition, we cannot increase a size, and also we cannot decrease a size. In LVM, we can do that, and also RAID supports same size of partitions for RAID. Like it is not like say same size of hard disk, but if you use different size of hard disk, so you have to use same size of partition from all those hard disk. For example, if you are using different type of disk, different size of disk for LVM, for RAID, like we have this disk, and we have this disk. Now suppose this one is 1 TB, this one is 3 TB, and this one is 5 TB. Now if I want to use them in a RAID, and I want to create a RAID volume, a RAID partition, then I have to go for the maximum size of minimum disk. That means I can go up to maximum size of the minimum disk, because it suppose same size of the partition for all the disk. So if I want to create a one RAID volume, so I can use 1 TB, the whole TB from here, and also I have to use the same size on all these other disks also. So I can use only 1 TB from here, and also from here I can use 1 TB. And then what? I can create only what? The RAID volume, which is what? 3 TB. So remaining space from here, from 5 TB, like remaining 4 TB, I will not able to use. Remaining 2 TB here, I will not able to use. That means I can create only 1 TB partition, 1 TB, 3 TB RAID with this, combining these three different size of disk. So I can go up to the size of minimum disk, because it supports same size of the disk from all the other partitions, all the other disk. You cannot use different size of partitions to create one RAID volume. But here in LVM, what we can do? We can use different size of partitions, we can use different size of disk, we can use different type of disk, and we can combine them all together. And when we can create what? Any size of partition. Any size of partition, that means what? If you are using RAID, so what you will get? Suppose you are using configuring RAID and strip volume, so you will get combined value, combined space. That means if you combine 1 TB from these three disks, so you will get the RAID volume of 3 TB. Now suppose for example you want to have a partition of 1.5 TB. 1.5 TB. Now 1.5 TB, that means if you use these two disks to create one RAID volume, then it will be 2 TB, not 1.5. If you use single disk, then you will get only 1 TB. If you combine these two disks, then you will get 2 TB. If you combine 3 disks, you will get 3 TB. But you will never get a size of partition of 1.5 TB. Because what? You cannot do that in RAID. Now that is why we use what? LVM. Now in RAID, what happen? If you use this in RAID 5, then you can afford one disk failure. It is giving you the redundancy. But in LVM, if you use three different disks to create one LVM partition, and if you lose any of the disk, then you will lose the data. So it is not for redundancy, it is for flexibility. Like you can use any size and type of the disk. You can create any size of the partition from the LVM group, and also you will get the option to shrink and extend the partition, LVM partition. So that is what you get, the flexibility. And if you and that means what? It is not necessary that you use different hard disks to create LVM. You can use a same hard disk to create LVM partitions. It is not necessary that you have to use different hard disk, because it is redundancy. So if you are using single disk, or if whether you are using single disk to configure the LVM or you are using multiple disks to configure LVM, it will lose the data if you lose any of the disk. So it does not matter. We use multiple disks to configure LVM is to get the combined space. Like if I want to combine these three disks, so like 3 GB, 3 TB, 5 TB, and 1 TB. So I will get the combined space for the LVM, and that will be 9 TB. So I will only combine these multiple disks to get a combined space, not get the redundancy. It is not for redundancy, and it is, you can even configure it on single disk. And that is what happens when you select automatic partitioning. Now when you configure automatic partitioning, then what happens? So at the time of installation, when you select automatic partitioning, you have option to select manual partitioning, and in that manual also you have option to select LVM or even RAID also. But if you select automatic partitioning, then what RHEL 7 do? It use LVM for creating the partition. What it do actually? Suppose this is your hard disk. So what it do here? From there, first it will create one partition, one standard partition. That partition will be S D A. The partition number will be 1. Now this will be the standard partition, the first partition. And now why it do create this partition? It will create this partition for /boot. Our boot partition. This is our boot partition. It is for the boot directory. Now why it creates separate partition for that? Because it needs separate partition, because it has all the bootable files. So and also the partition must be first partition. So it create first standard partition SDA1 for the boot partition. Now what it do with the remaining space? Now boot partition, it does not create more than 500 MB, because it does not need more than 500 MB. So it will create automatically SDA1 for just 500 MB, and then what it do with the remaining space of your disk? Maybe you are having 1 TB disk, 2 TB disk, whatever. You are having 500 GB disk. It will do what? It will use 500 MB for only boot, and it use this SDA1 for boot. Then with the remaining space, with the remaining space, it will do what? It will create the second partition. It will create second standard partition from this remaining space by using all the remaining space. Remember, it will use all the remaining space. That means you will not have any space remaining in your disk, and it will create SDA2. Now in this SDA2, it will create what? LVM. From here, it will create LVM. And then from this LVM, it will do what? It will create a logical volumes for different partitions, like for different directories. For example, our system partitions, which is we required must, is what? Boot, then you need a slash, then you need a swap. These are your system partitions. So you need a partition for these different things, different directories, and this swap file. So boot is already created with the SDA1. So from this SDA2, it will use LVM to create two partitions, a separate partition for this swap and slash. Now swap is what? It will be always the size of RAM. So it will create one swap, one LVM for swap, and that will be equal to RAM. Like if you are having a 2 GB of RAM or 4 GB of RAM, so the swap will be 2 GB or 4 GB. Now whatever the remaining space you have, it will use for this slash. So it will create one LVM for slash and mount it on slash, and the other LVM for swap, and it will mount it on swap. Now in case if your hard disk is more than 50 GB, then automatically do what? It create one more LVM, and that is for slash home. It is optional, it is data partition, it is conditioned that if your hard disk is more than 50 GB, then it will create one more extra partition, extra LVM for home. So it do what? When you select automatic partitioning, it use LVM for creating these different partitions for these different directories. Only it use normal standard partition for boot, then it use another partition to create LVM, and in that LVM it create all these partitions which is required, the system partitions, which is slash and swap, and also it uses slash home. Also it create also slash home if only you're having more than 50 GB of the space. So that is what, when you select automatic partitioning at the time of installation, and you can see it is doing what? It is creating LVM in a single disk. It is not using multiple disks. Now why it is using it in the single disk? Because it is not for redundancy. It is for just it is just for what? It is just for flexibility. Flexibility, that means suppose my disk is what? Let's say my disk is 500 GB. For example, my disk is 500 GB. Now what happened? 500 MB is gone for the boot, and my RAM was 4 GB. So 4 GB is gone for swap. Then what? It create from this 500 the maximum size. Let's say one half will go to this home. Like from this it will go for 200 GB will go for home, and all the remaining space will go for the slash. Let's say 300, because it is just a GB, so less than 4 GB less than 300 GB or 200 GB. Now what? It is there. Now it is selected automatically. Now it is not giving you option to select what size you want. Now what happen if you full this space? Now this space is full. The space of this LVM is full. Now you need more space. Now what? Because it is LVM, you can increase it, and you can increase it very easily. And that is why it use LVM when you select automatic partitioning. So that if any case, if you want to change the size of your partitions for slash, swap or home, then you can do it easily. You will never change the size and you will never require the extra size for boot. So it will use the default standard partition for boot, but you may require extra size for slash or swap or even home. So you can do it easily, and that is why it do what? It uses LVM for creating these different partitions, and it is using automatically for that. Now if you need more than 300 GB for slash, so now what you can do, you are not having any space remaining here in this disk, so you can add one more disk here, and then you can add this disk into LVM configuration. Like for example, this is, I'm adding more 500 GB here. Now what, I am having now 500 GB extra available in LVM. Now what I can do, I can add extra GBs here in this slash. So I want this 300 to be for 500 again. So I can do what, I can change this 300 to 500, and that I can do without losing any data. That means I don't have to delete the partition and I don't have to recreate the partition. I can easily extend the partition from 300 to 500. Now from this 500 I use 200. Now I am remaining with 300 GB more, and I can use it anywhere here. And even I can create more extra partitions, more extra LVM partitions for any other directories also. So we can easily manage when it is in LVM, and that is why it selects LVM automatically when you select automatic partitioning at the time of installation. So those who select automatic, they will see like this. So at the time of installation we can configure LVM. Even we can select automatic partitioning, it will configure LVM for us. Or when you select manual partitioning, at that time also you can select LVM, you can choose LVM partitioning, and you can create LVM partitioning based on your requirement, what you want. Now we will see how we can configure the LVM in our Linux system. So configuring LVM in our Linux system. So first, let's see the process how we can do configure. Configuration steps for LVM. Now this is the step for LVM configuration. So this is the step for LVM configuration. Now whether you can choose to create from multiple physical disk, or you can choose to create it from a single disk, does not matter. In any case, it is not giving you, anyhow it is not giving you redundancy, but the process is also same as this. Now like red, we can create multiple disks, we can combine multiple disks, and we can create a single LVM. We can do combine multiple disk, or we can combine single disk. We can use a single disk, does not matter. But if you have multiple disk, like one, like I have here 1 2 3, so first what you have to do, you have to create a partition from those disks, which partition you want to use for LVM. So first we create the partition from these disks, either it is multiple disk or even a single disk, does not matter. You will create a partitions which you want to use in LVM. So you will create a partitions, you will have a partitions from multiple disk or a single disk. You will create a partition, and with the LVM system ID, that LVM system ID is what, 8E. So we will create a partition, required partition, whether it is from the different disk or from the same disk. We will create the required partition with the system ID. It is called 8E. 8E is our Linux LVM system type for the partition. Now, after creating the partitions, then we have to convert these partition into physical volume. It is called physical volume. So the second step is to convert the partitions into physical volume. It is called PV. It is also called PV. So converting these physical partitions into physical volume, it is called PV. Now what that means actually, you're making your partitions ready for the LVM. It is like, you can assume it like a unique file system for LVM. Like how your partition is going to be used in LVM, you have to combine, you will configure these partitions for that. So by converting them into physical volume, it is called physical volume. Now, after converting the physical volume, this partition into physical volume, then we will combine those physical volumes to create a single volume group. It is called volume group. Now, volume group will be the combined space of these different partitions. For example, we are having a partitions of 1 TB. Suppose this one is 1 TB, or miss, I'll say 100 TB, 100 GB. So this one is also 100 GB, or even this one is also 100 GB. So the volume group will be the combined space of these all physical volumes, and it will be 300 GB. Now this volume group, from this volume group you can create LVM. Now you can create any size of LVM. Here is what it will give you, the flexibility to create any size of LVM. It does not depend on the single volume, single physical volume. It is not like you are having single volume of 100 GB, so you can create only a single partition up to 100 GB. You can go less than 100, you can go more than 100, any size you want you can create. It is not like combining 200 GB physical volume and creating 200 GB LVM. It is not like that. It will give you the flexibility from this volume group that you can create any size of LVM. Like you can create LVM of 20, I can say. You can create even a LVM of 50 GB, any size. You can create LVM of 120, 110, 113, 112, whatever you can create. Now, after creating these LVMs, you can create multiple LVMs based on the size of these 300. After creating these different LVMs, now you are creating it from the combined space of 300. So that means you are dividing these 300 into multiple different LVMs. So you cannot create more than 300. Inside that 300, you can create the different size of LVMs. Now, when you create these LVMs, so these LVMs, then you can use them as a normal partitions, normal standard partition, or even a red volume. It will work like a normal partition. Now for using the normal partition, what we do, we create the file system into it, and after creating the file system, we mount it on a directory, and then we make it permanent, and then we can use it. So whenever we store any data into this directory, the data will go to this LVM, and by the configurations it will go to the LVM which we have, and then the data will be divided into these different disks in a different physical volume, whether it is coming from multiple disk or a single disk. So this is the steps for configuring the LVM. And now we will see how we can configure it. So the steps for the configuring LVM: first, what we do, so first we'll add disks as we required. It is not necessary. We can add disks as we required. You need to have a multiple space, combined space, because one disk can go up to 1 TB. If you need more than 1 TB, you need 5 TB, 10 TB, then you can go up to what, combining multiple disks to create that volume group which has the size of these 10 TB or 20 TB. Otherwise you can do it in a single disk also. Now after doing that, what you will do, you will do create a partition. We can say required partitions for LVM with system ID 8E, and that is what, that is called Linux LVM. It is called Linux LVM partitioning type. After that, what we will do, we will create, or we can say convert partitions into physical volumes. And physical volumes, that means we can say PV. Now after converting them into PV, we create volume group. Now after that, combine PVs to create volume group, that is we call VG. It is called VG. Now after creating the VG, we will get the combined space, and then from that combined space we can create required size of logical volumes, and that is what is called LV. From volume group. After creating the LV, then what, we can go on to use that LV. And for using the LV, what we will do, we'll create the file system in those LVs to use it. And then what we will do, we will mount LVs to the directory, and after mounting it, what we will do, we will make it Just like the other partitions, we will make it resistant mount by adding entry into etc fstab file. And finally what we do, verify configurations of this fstab file, and that without rebooting, just like we did it for the other normal partitions and even on the RAID partition. So whenever we create a partition, we want to use it. For that we use what? We use a file system first, or we create the file system on it, and then what we do, we mount it and make it permanent. For making it persistence mount, like whenever we restart it should be mounted, we add the entry into the fstab file. And for verifying it without rebooting, we should verify without rebooting, because if you make any mistake and you reboot your system will go into grub mode and it will not start. Okay, so let's see how we can do this in our machine. So this is our machine, and what I have here is I have added multiple partitions here: SDA1, SDA2, SDA3. We have SDA, SDB, SDC. So I have different partitions, different hard disk. So I can use these different hard disks to create this RAID, or even I can use single hard disk to do that. But because I'm having a different hard disk, so what I will do, I will use those different hard disks to create partitions from them to use it in RAID, to use it in this LVM. So first I will create the partitions, because it is already added, the disks is already added. So I will go on to create the partitions on those different disks. So first I will create in SDB. In SDB I have already have one partition and it is used in RAID. Now I will use one more partition for LVM here. New, primary, default, and that will be of 1 GB. So I created the partition, and that is 1 GB, and this is what? Normal Linux, and that is 83. Now it is normal Linux. I don't So when I create a partition, it will be a normal Linux 83. I want 8E, that is Linux LVM. So what I will do, I will change the ID for this by using T. Which partition? So I want to change it for the second partition. And what is the code? So we can see all the codes by using L command. And there are different codes, and there is a code which is 8E, and that is said Linux LVM. So I want this Linux LVM 8E. So I will mention 8E. So I created one partition of 1 GB from SDB hard disk with this type 8E, that is Linux LVM. So I will save it and exit. Now because I have created the new partition from the existing disk, I have to resync the disk. I have to update the partition table. So for that I will use part probe for dev SDB. Now I want another partition from the another disk, so I will do what? I will create it from another disk, that is SDC. Same. So I will go on to create one more partition from here of 1 GB, and the type will be 8E. So quickly I will create those partitions and I will update with the part probe. So I have now two partitions, SDB2, SDC2. Now I will do use to create SDD also. Same, new primary default plus 1 GB, and the type for the partition will be 8E. Save, and then part probe for SDD. So now I have three different partitions from the three different disks, that is SDB and SDC and SDD. From SDB, SDC and SDD I have second partition for LVM to use in LVM. Now what I will do now, first I will convert them into physical volume. So after creating the partition, we know how to create the partition. What we'll do now, we will convert them into physical volume. So for converting them into physical volume, what we'll do, so after creating partitions, we convert them into physical volume. Now to convert them into physical volume, the command is pv create, and after that we will mention those partitions name which we have created for LVM. Like for example, I created SDD2, then I created from the second disk I created SDC2, then the third disk I created dev SDD2. So this disk I created. Now for converting them into physical volume, the command is pv create, and then we give this disk name to convert them. To see available is what command we run, pv display. This command will show all the available PEs, and all the available PEs, and what you will see is this, the name of the PE and the name of the VG, volume group, which is this PE is part of that group, but right now it is not showing any because we have not created any volume group. And then it shows the size of the PV, which is 1 GB. Then it is saying here, is it allocatable or not? It is saying no, because it is not a part of any VG. After after we create the VG and we add this PV into that VG, then it will become allocatable, and then it will decide what the size of PE. PE is what? Physical extent, and physical extent is the minimum size of a data, or we can say a minimum chunk of data which we can allocate to any LV. That means when we create the LV from this volume group or the volume group, then we can decide, this PE will decide like how many small size of the chunk of data we can give. By default it will be 4 MB, and it will be decided when we create the VG. We can change when at the time of creation this VG. When we create the VG, we can change the size. By default it will be 4 MB, and it will decide like how many PEs we assign from this 1 GB. For example, if suppose I create my PE size is 100 MB, let's say 100 MB. So from 1 GB, how many 100 MBs I will have 10. That means then after it will decide total PE here. So if one PE size is 100 MB, so in 1 GB how many PEs I will get? I will get 10 PEs. And after it will decided that total PE is what, then it will decide like how many free PEs are there and how many PEs we have assigned to any LV or we have given to any LV. And you cannot go less than PE size. So if your PE size is 100 MB, then you cannot go less than 100 MB. If you want to create any LV less than 100, like if you want to create any LV of 70 MB, 60 MB, 50 MB, 10 MB, it will not create. It will create directly 100 MB because your PE size is 100. So PE size is what? It's the smallest part of the data which you can assign to any LV. And by default it is 4 MB. You can go minimum, then you can go 2 MB, you can go 8 MB. By default it is what? 4 MB. So this PV display command displays about the information about the PEs. Now after creating the PVs, now we can create the volume group by combining these different PEs. So for creating the volume group, we have a command VG create. VG create, that means volume group create. And then we will mention the PVs which we have. Remember the PEs which we converted into PEs. We cannot mention normal partition here. We can mention the partitions which we converted into PVs. So SDB2, DAV, SDC2, then DAV, SDD2. These are the three partitions. Right now I have converted into PV. Now I am using this PVs to create volume group. Now when you create a volume group, you will have to mention the name for your volume group. Now name, you can mention any name. Any name, that means you can mention any name. For example, I'm saying here my VG name will be I'm saying like my VG name is Sai1. So this is the name for my VG. So I'm giving the name for my VG is Sai1, and you can give any name. It is not restricted to any specific name. Now what it is saying, volume group Sai1 successfully created. Now remember I told you that when you create the volume group, it will be decided that PE. When you create the volume group, the PE will be decided. So if you check now the PV display, now you can see here that this PV is now member of this VG. You can see the name here now, and then you can see the PE size is this, and it is also saying not usable 4 MB. Now why it is showing this? Because the 4 MB size is now not usable, because it is leaving that size for some information of this PE. Now it is saying what? It is allocatable, and here it is decided the PE size. Remember I said it will be decided when we create the volume group, and it is what? By default 4 MB, because we have not mentioned any PE size when we created the volume group. So it uses the default size, and it is what? 4 MB. And because it is 4 MB, so within the 1 GB we are getting 255 PEs, and from this PV we have total PEs free because we have not created any LV till now. And allocated, no, it is 0. Now if you want to change the PE size, you can do it when you create the volume group. Suppose I created the volume group by this command. Now if I don't want the default size, if I want a different size of PE, then what? I will give a command here. I will add one more option here. and then whatever the size. So if I want to make a different size, then I will add this option with the size which I want. So I can make any size, whatever I can make any size what I want. 8 MB, 4 MB. 4 MB is the default. I can go less. I can go for 2 MB. I can go for 8 MB. I can go for 12 MB. So whatever I can go by using this option. You can see those options by using help command, and it is saying this -s small s for mentioning the physical extent size, and you can mention it by using KB, MB, GB, whatever. So if you want to create directly the volume group, you can create directly like this. It is already existed. Now to create volume group, we can create by using this command. So volume group I'm creating with the name of Psi1. So this is the name of my volume group. Now this is what I'm creating with default PE default PE size, and if I want to create it with the another default another size or any P different PE size, then with the command I will add one more extra option -s, and then I can mention whatever PE size I want. So this is what with PE size of 8 MB. So this is what by using the PE size 8 MB. So if you want to change, then you can change with this. Now what is PE? So PE is what? PE is physical extent. PE is physical extent, and it is called PE, and this is a smallest chunk of data we can allocate it or allocate to any LVs. So this is the smallest chunk of data we can allocate to any LV. So if, and also I will say like here, by default size of PE is 4 MB, and we can change it to any size by using -s option with vg create command. So this is about PE, and it is decided, at the time of VG creation. Or I will add here, this is decided at the time of creating the volume group. So it is decided at the time of creating the volume group, and by default the size of the P is 4 MB, and we can change it to any size by using -s option with VG create command. Now after creating the VG, we can check the information about the VG. Just like we check the information about the PV or available PVs, info of available PVs, we can check the information of VGs also to see the info of volume group. We can use command VG display. Just like PV, we use PV display. For VG, we can use VG display. So we created the VG and we want to see the information about the VG. So I will use VG display. And we can see the information about our VG which we created. So this is the name of the VG, size 1. Then format is what, LVM version 2. Metadata area is 3 because we are using the 3 disks, 3 physical volumes. Metadata sequence number 1. Then what, VG access read write, we can read write it. Now one more thing, VG status is resizable. Resizable, that means if I have now lost, I have less data, like the total space I'm getting what, 3 GB, because I have 3 disks, 3 partitions, 3 PVs of 1 GB. So total space I'm getting 3 GB. Now I need more space. If I used all the space, all the 3 GB, and I created these different partitions, different LVs by using all these 3 GBs, now I need more space. Then what, I can resize my VG. I can resize my VG, that means I can add more PVs here in this VG. Maximum is not decided because I can add more. Current LVs is not decided here. Actually it is LV, logical volumes, so it is not destroying any because we have not created any. Open LVs, it is not there. Maximum PVs here, it is not decided because we can add more PVs in this VG. Current PVs are 3 and both 3s are active, and the total VG size is 2.99 GB because 311 GB PVs we are using, and total is this. The PE size is what, 4 MB. The total PE is what, 765. That means 255 from each PV, and this total is what, 765. Allocated 0, no PE is allocated, no size is allocated, everything is 0 because we have not created any LV. And right now total PEs and total size is free. So we can create now LV, logical volumes, from this volume group. So now if we want to create the logical volume, so for that the command is LV create, LV create is to create the logical volume from this volume groups. So LV create, and now I will mention the size. Now first, to mention the size of the LV. For mentioning the size of LV, we have two options. The first option is to mention the size in PE. We know 1 PE is what, 4 MB. So if suppose I want to create a 400 MB partition, so for 400 MB partition, how many PEs I need? So I know I need what, 100 PEs. 100 PEs for creating 400 MB partition. But every time it is not that simple. Like if I want to create 102 GB partition, or 103 GB partition, 113 GB partition, now, or maybe I have not that space, I have 3 GB, so maybe I want to create 43 450 MB partition, 430 MB partition. So counting the PE is not that easy for us, but we can do this if we know that 4 MB is the, say, single PE. So if I can count for the size how many PEs I need, then I can use a size in PE. Otherwise I can use the size in directly MB, GB or TB. So first, suppose I want to create a PLV, and if I don't understand the PEs, then I will use what, capital L for PE size, the LV size, length. So I want to create one, let's say 800 MB partition, 800 LV. Then -n is for the name for our LV. Now name I want to give any, so here I can give any name. So let's say I will give Pali 1. This name is for my LV which I am creating of 800 MB. Then you will mention the volume group from where you are creating this LV. So I'm creating this LV from the volume group name Psi1, and enter. And this is what created. Now it is created what, the logical volume with this name, and the size of the logical volume is this. Now if you want to see the information about it, LV displays the command, and you can see what, this is the name and path. Remember, path is also important because we want to use it, and for using it we have to make a file system, and then we have to mount it. So for that we have to know the path and name also. So this is the name and the path of the LV. This is the name of the LV. It is created from this VG. This is the UID. This is what, read write. It is available, the status is available, open, and the LV size is what, 800 MB. And you can see the current LE. Now LE is what, local extent, that how many PEs are used. So we have used 200 PEs to create 800 MB partition. We know that 4 MB is the single PE, and by using 200 PEs of 4 MB, we get what, 800 MB partition, 800 MB LV. And it is allocatable, it is read write auto sector, currently set to this, block size is this, and it is the information about our LV. So for creating the LV, we can use the command LV create by capital L option for the length of the LV, which is the size of your LV. Now capital L is to give a size in MB, GB and TB, and -n is for the name of your LV, and then you can mention the volume group from where you are creating the LV. Now if you know how many size of LV you can use, you can, if you know the size of PE and you know how many PEs you have, you can use for some partition, some LV size. For example, I want to create a LV now, and I will use what, the PEs. So if you want, then you can give a size in PEs, and if you want, then you can give a size in MB, GB and KB. So I want to give a size in PE. So for giving a size in PE, you will use a small l, and for giving a size in MB, GB, you will use capital L. So this time I'm creating one more LV, and I'm using a size in PE, and I will say like I want to create a LV with the size of 480 PE. The name will be Pali 2, and from the group Psi 1. Now I don't know what is the size of that LV. I use the P size, P number of P is 480. Let's check by giving the LV display command. Now we can see the Pali 2 is created, and by using the 480 PEs, and the size is actually 1.88 GB. So if you know, and if you can calculate the size of P's, then you can give a size in P with using small l, and if you're not able to calculate it, then you can use capital L, and you can give the size in MB, GB and all. So after creating it, now you can create logical volume name Ali 1 from VG Psi 1 of size 800 MB, and that you can do by using this command. And I'm giving size in KB, MB or GB. And if you know, you can give a size in PE, then you can mention it like this, small l, and then you can mention the size of P, number of P. So what I'm doing here, giving size in number of PE. So you have both options, either you give size in MB and GB, or you can give a size in the number of PE you want. So this is how you can create the LV. And now after creating the LV, the rest is same. That means with the normal partition, what we do with the normal partition, we can do with the same thing here. We can do create the LV file system in that LV, then we will mount it on a directory, and then we can make it persistent mount by adding the entry into the FS tab, and then we can verify that without rebooting, so that we cannot go to the grub mode. So the rest of the process is same after creating the LV. So now we know how to create the LV, and after that we can do what? We can do mount it, we can do create file system, then mount it, make it persistent, we can use it.